This is the future.
I would like to say a few words before we begin. Take note that the melee weapons listed on this video are not the only ones powerful enough to take down high-level enemies and even level cap enemies if you please to do some survival endurance runs. I'm only listing some of the most powerful red crit melee weapons right now in this video that you can use, and also, remember that red crit in this game is not a necessity but only an addiction. Yes, red crit values are indeed good when paired with a bleed build as it increases the bleed DPS of your combo, but the thing is, you can still kill enemies without it. There are also other combos in this game that don't require red crit to hit that 2 billion damage cap, and also, there's another damage type called true damage that doesn't need any critical damage to hit that level cap. Again, it's not a necessity, but admittedly, it's way cooler to see red crit numbers covering your screen. That's the goal of every tenor in this game, to cover their screen with tons of number values until digital extremes notice it and decide to nerf it. I'm just kidding. Just trolling all those nerf callers. Okay, enough with the introduction, and let's begin with the first, and probably one of my long-time favorite, the Venka Prime. By the way, most of the setup you will see here have secondary dexterity and primary dexterity arcanes from your guns. At max proc of both arcanes, you can achieve as much as 15 seconds combo duration, which we will use to maintain our combo counter without sacrificing a slot on our melee weapon. This way, we can min-max our build, and most of the builds you will see here are tuned that way, since we all know that Blood Rush has been nerfed by a lot. Okay, now let's talk about Venka Prime. It's very entertaining to cosplay as Wolverine in this game, especially if you got some cool claws like the Venka Prime. It packs heavy slash damage, a couple with high critical chance and status chance, and is the only weapon with a 13 times melee combo multiplier after 240 hits. The 13 times combo multiplier allows these claws to red crit at max combo counter without adding so much effort in terms of modding and extra stuff like arcanes. In terms of modding, I have the basic Weeping Wounds, Blood Rush, plus Condition Overload combo. The high status chance is buffed by Weeping Wounds to the point that we can apply several status procs including physical damage to enemies. This gives Condition Overload more damage bonus, and it's even better if you have a primer weapon for more status proc. Wyvern Million Storm Squad Leader. Well, it's a no-brainer for me because of the spin-to-win combo called Cardinal Breeze. The combo allows you to hit multiple targets in one spin, and it gets better since we have primed reach in our mod setup. For those who have a Warframe that can group enemies with their ability, then simply replace primed reach with any mod that you deem useful in this slot. You can add primed fury if you want, or Berserker Fury for more attack speed, and you can replace the Arcane Strike in your Warframe slot with anything useful for your frame. Lastly, why Gladiator Might Squad Leader instead of the Organ Shatter mod? We are talking about min-max builds here which can red crit, that is why I choose Gladiator Might over Organ Shatter. But if you are okay without constant red crits and you prefer more critical damage, then you can slap Organ Shatter instead of Gladiator Might. Another great red crit melee weapon right now is the Broken War. Like I always say, this melee weapon will always be broken because of its name. But jokes aside, the Broken War is a devastating weapon to have if you mod it the way I mod Venka Prime. It may not have the same 13 times combo counter as the Prime Claws, but it got a very high critical chance that it allows you to red crit at 12 times combo counter. Some players may prefer the Dakra Prime, and I can't blame them since it's also a good weapon and it got a slight advantage over the Broken War in terms of critical stats, but still, I prefer the Broken War since it got a high status chance that allows it to proc slash damage and the element you have included more often. The best part is, it's a reward for the best quest I have ever done in the game, which is the second dream quest. If you are a new player, then you must try the second dream quest and the Broken War will be a big bonus for you. By the way, getting back on the build I have shown earlier, I only included the normal reach on my modding since I don't have enough mod capacity and I'm too lazy to form the melee weapon as I usually wield it with my Nidus Prime right now. All I do is cast lava and kill enemies with Broken War, but the min-max build for Broken War is the same as Venka Prime. Now, let's move on to something different than smacking enemies with your fast melee attack. First off, let's talk about Pennant, the two-handed Nikana that gets a cool gimmick of increased attack speed per heavy attack kills. You may find this weapon underpowered, and question me why I included this on this list, since it has low status chance that may hinder it from doing big slash and bleed damage. But the thing is, each heavy attack of the Wise Razor stance does guarantee slash procs, which allow pennant do massive red crit slash damage, then huge bleed procs. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is that this melee weapon needs to build up a combo counter first before doing the final heavy attack blow. It's not a necessity, but if you want to see those sweet red crit slash damage then high bleed procs, this is the steps you need to do. Anyway, it's not like you will exert effort in building combo counter as right now. You only need 240 hits to achieve 12 times combo multiplier. Also, there are tons of setup right now that allows you to group enemies in one place, making the process a lot faster. There's the Helminth system that has Ensnare and Lava as grouping abilities. There's also Magus Anomaly, Zenurix Void Singularity, and on top of that, the option to put Primed Reach in your Pennant build. Overall, there are tons of ways to make Pennant super strong right now, with a combination of fast attacks to build up your combo counter, then hitting everything with a big heavy attack. Another great weapon built for heavy attack to build up combo counter, then throw massive heavy attack damage is the lethal fan blade named Quasis. This fan blade can one-shot acolytes when at max combo counter. You see, heavy attacks of this fan blade throws ethereal daggers, with each dagger doing 76 base damage. The first heavy attack throws 12 daggers, each with a 2.5x damage multiplier. The second heavy attack in sequence throws 6 daggers, each with a 5x damage multiplier. Each dagger is considered a heavy attack. Their damage will scale from the combo counter and mods such as Killing Blow, and they also have guaranteed slash procs, and the best part is, they have innate punch through. Each heavy attack will guarantee massive red crit damage if you build the Quasis the same way as your Pennant. However, do take note that what I am showing here is red crit builds weapons, and as I have said earlier, red crit is just addiction and not a necessity in Warframe. There are other setup than building combo then hitting enemies with heavy attacks. Say, for example, other players may find doing this method tedious, that they opt out adding corrupt charge in their build, or they are lucky enough to have an insane critical riven for their melee weapons. Then all they need to do is slap corrupt charge, sacrificial steel, blood rush, and then their crit riven. Even better, your riven will do more damage with critical damage or melee damage stats, or an initial combo to guarantee red crit without needing to build up your combo counter. The same can be said to the fifth melee weapon on this list, which is the Strafe. The same aspect as the previous two melee weapons can be implemented with this gunblade. Build up combo counter with the fast attack, and then hit it with a massive red crit heavy attack. This is another melee weapon that you might feel lackluster, and you might also get confused why I added this on this list, since Strafe has a low status chance and its gunblade shots primarily deal impact damage. And worst, this gunblade has immediate damage fall off from 100% to 50% after 11 meters target distance, and from 50% to 10 base damage from 15 meters to 17 meters target distance. It also has a limited range of 17 meters, which will make you scratch your head. But like I've said earlier, Warframe right now is full of grouping combos, and you can also take advantage of this while using Strafe. This gunblade hits harder than Redeemer Prime in my opinion if used properly with a grouping setup like Nidaslava, and because of this, Strafe will stay one of the best red crit gunblade for me even after the Blood Rush nerf. Just a heads up though, the combo counter acquisition for Strafe right now is broken to the point that each shot from this gunblade will receive a delay combo counter count. It's like Digital Extremes have messed up their codes again when they fix the combo counter of the new Vasty Luck gunblade. Well, I'm just making that up, but right now, the combo count of Strafe is kinda bug. Let me know in the comment section if you have experienced the same while playing with Strafe. There is also a great red crit melee weapon that allows you to throw range projectiles, and this is the 2 billion damage Zor, which is formed by the Varjeet 2 Rahang Link, Cob Grip, and Doctrum Strike. Yes, for this melee weapon to red crit, you also need to build up combo counter using your fast attack. But instead of using heavy attack as your finisher blow, we will use the Exodia Contagions or Arcane to destroy all enemies. Red crit or with no red crit, this setup can do massive damage if wielded by the right hands, especially with a Warframe that has a damage buffing ability. A good example of this setup is Wisp with the Eclipse ability. If you managed to maintain the 12 times combo counter, which is quite easy with the dexterity arcanes and the Nariman focus, then you can easily hit a 2 billion damage cap with Wisp and her Breach Surge. The initial red crit damage is huge enough, and when a spark of Breach Surge jumps into an enemy, it becomes pretty lethal that it amounts to over 100 million to billions of damage. Zors, in general, are monster melee weapons, but this 2 billion damage Zor is by far the most lethal, and I highly advise that you give it a try. Without Eclipse, Exodia Contagion can deal millions of red crit damage with the build I have shown you earlier. The last melee that will be included in this list is one of my personal favorites, and it's the Ganda Prime. To be honest, this prime melee weapon won't be if it's not gorgeous. Fashion frame is always the endgame in this game, and the prettier your weapon in Warframe, the more damage you will deal. I'm just kidding. I just love how the Ganda Prime looks, but it takes a lot of setup to deal red crit with this weapon. In my case, I have a critical chance Riven paired with both Blood Rush and 2 Gladiator mods to do some red crits and 12 times combo multiplier. You see, Riven mods are one of the important factors right now to get those red crit numbers. I think melee right now is sitting at a good spot since it's kind of balanced, and if you want to go all out, you need to put a lot of effort in your setup like Rivens and other stuff just to get those sweet red crit numbers. But like I have said, red crit is just addiction in this game, and without it, you can still massacre a bunch of dumb enemies instantly with anything you have. Now, I haven't included tenet melee weapons in this video since I was too lazy to grind them out this week. All I did was farm Steel Essence and Helminth resources, but I'm planning to review and make fun builds of the new tenet melee weapons really soon. For now, I would like to know what are your favorite red crit melee weapons right now, and also, please share your thoughts about the video. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.
This is the future.